Seeds of discord, the rise of Prince Hoshikawa, the land of the rising sun, a land of beauty, of honor, of brutal war. For centuries the emperor reigned supreme, his word, law, his samurai, invincible. Yet even in paradise, seeds of discord grow. This is the tale of one such seed, Prince Hoshikawa. Hoshikawa, a proud son of the emperor, a brilliant warrior, a charismatic leader. He was loved by his men, respected by his enemies. Yet fate, it seemed, had a cruel twist in store. The emperor, swayed by whispers of a powerful court faction, chose another as his heir. Hoshikawa and his loyal samurai felt the sting of betrayal. They saw the injustice, the unraveling of the empire's core. Their pleas fell on deaf ears. The court, blind in its ambition, ignored the growing discontent. The whispers became murmurs, the murmurs grew into roars. The seeds of rebellion had been sown. Hoshikawa, torn between duty and righteousness, faced a choice: bow to injustice or unsheath his sword against his own blood. His decision would shake the very foundations of the empire and etch his name in the chronicles of history. The lion's roar. Hoshikawa's banner unfurled. The tension was palpable. It hung heavy in the air, thick with anticipation. Hoshikawa, his face etched with conflict, finally made his choice. He would fight. For justice, for honor, for the soul of the empire. He raised his battle standard, a roaring lion, a testament to his courage and strength. His most trusted samurai, their faces grim, echoed his resolve. They would stand with their leader, even if it meant defying the heavens themselves. Word of Hoshikawa's rebellion spread like wildfire. From the snow-capped peaks of Mount Fuji to the bustling heart of the capital, the empire held its breath. Many, disillusioned by the court's corruption, flocked to Hoshikawa's cause. They saw in him a beacon of hope, a chance for a better tomorrow. The land of the rising sun was poised on the brink of a cataclysmic war. On one side, the might of the Imperial Army, vast and formidable. On the other, Hoshikawa and his rebels burning with righteous fury. The first clash, everyone knew, would be the true test. It would determine the fate of the empire. Clash of Blades, the Battle of Kawa Plains. The sun beat down mercilessly on the Kawa Plains, its heat reflecting off thousands of polished blades. The air crackled with anticipation. Two armies faced each other, separated by a sea of waving grass, each a mirror reflecting the other's resolve. Hoshikawa, astride his warhorse, surveyed the battlefield. His face, normally a canvas of warmth, was now a mask of cold determination. He knew the odds were stacked against him, yet his spirit remained unbroken. He would fight for every inch of ground, for every drop of his men's blood. The first clash was a symphony of steel and screams. Samurai met samurai in a whirlwind of flashing blades and dying cries. Arrows rained from the sky, blotting out the sun for a fleeting moment. The ground, once green and vibrant, was quickly painted crimson. Hoshikawa, a whirlwind of steel and fury, carved a path through the enemy ranks. His katana, a blur in his hands, tasted blood with every swing. He fought like a man possessed, his every move a testament to his warrior lineage. But the Imperial forces were relentless, their numbers seemingly endless. Whispers in the Night Ninja and the Shadow War. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the Kawa Plains, a different kind of battle began. The Silent War, fought in the dead of night, where shadows danced and whispers could kill. This was the domain of the ninja, masters of stealth and subterfuge. Hoshikawa, recognizing the strategic importance of intelligence, had recruited a band of these shadow warriors. Led by the enigmatic Kaze, a master of disguise and infiltration, they moved like ghosts through the night, their mission to disrupt the enemy supply lines and sow discord in their ranks. Kaze and his ninja were the unseen hand that tipped the scales of the war. They were the whispers in the dark, the rumors that spread like wildfire, the fear that gnawed at the hearts of their enemies. They were instrumental in securing key victories for Hoshikawa, their exploits becoming legendary. One such victory came after Kaze, disguised as an imperial officer, infiltrated the enemy camp. He replaced their battle plans with false orders, leading to a disastrous attack on their own allies. This decisive blow, struck from the shadows, solidified Hoshikawa's reputation as a cunning strategist. A change of tides betrayal at Mount Shiroyama. The rebellion raged on, a bloody dance between two unwavering forces. Hoshikawa, through tactical brilliance and unwavering support of his men, had secured several key victories. The imperial court, their confidence shaken, resorted to desperate measures. They knew they couldn't defeat Hoshikawa in a fair fight. So they turned to treachery. They found a willing pawn in Lord Masamune, a powerful daimyo who had pledged allegiance to Hoshikawa. Masamune, tempted by promises of power and land, agreed to betray his leader. The betrayal struck at the heart of Hoshikawa's forces. Mount Shiroyama, a strategic fortress and a symbol of the rebellion's strength, fell to Masamune's treachery. The loss of the fortress was a devastating blow, both strategically and morally. Hoshikawa, though deeply wounded by this betrayal, refused to give up. He rallied his remaining men, his voice still strong, his spirit unbroken. He knew the path ahead would be fraught with danger, but he would fight on, for justice, for honor, for the memory of his fallen comrades. The Dragon's Fury Imperial forces strike back. The betrayal of Masamune emboldened the Imperial forces. They sensed victory within their grasp. The Emperor, enraged by the rebellion, unleashed the full might of his army, led by his most ruthless general, Lord Yoritomo. Yoritomo, known as the Dragon of the East, was a fearsome warrior and a brilliant strategist. He had spent his life on the battlefield, crushing rebellions and expanding the empire's borders. He saw Hoshikawa's rebellion as a personal affront, a stain on his honor, and he vowed to crush it without mercy. Yoritomo unleashed a series of lightning-fast attacks, pushing Hoshikawa's forces back on their heels. He utilized a combination of brutal force and cunning tactics, exploiting every weakness in Hoshikawa's defenses. Villages were razed, fields salted, and any who dared support the rebellion faced the dragon's wrath. The tide of the war seemed to be turning in favor of the imperial forces. Hoshikawa, facing overwhelming odds and dwindling resources, was pushed back to his last bastion of hope, Hoshikawa Castle. Hoshikawa Castle, perched atop a mountain overlooking the surrounding plains, stood as a testament to the Hoshikawa clan's enduring strength. Its walls, said to be impenetrable, had withstood countless sieges. Now they were all that stood between Hoshikawa and utter defeat. Yoritomo, confident in his superior numbers and resources, laid siege to the castle. Day and night the siege engines bombarded the walls, while wave after wave of imperial soldiers attempted to breach its defenses. Yet, Hoshikawa and his loyal samurai fought with the ferocity of cornered tigers. Every inch of ground was contested, every stone soaked in blood. The defenders, inspired by Hoshikawa's unwavering courage, fought with a zeal that belied their dwindling numbers. Women and children too took up arms, their cries of defiance echoing across the battlefield. The siege raged on, a brutal testament to the human cost of war. Yet despite their valiant efforts, the defenders of Hoshikawa Castle knew that time was running out. The enemy was relentless, their resources vast, and the walls, once thought impenetrable, were slowly crumbling under the constant barrage. The end came swiftly, a final heart-wrenching crescendo to a symphony of violence. A breach in the outer wall, created by a lucky shot from a trebuchet, proved to be the turning point. Imperial soldiers, eager for glory and driven by Yoritomo's promise of plunder, surged through the gap like a tidal wave. Hoshikawa, his armor battered, his sword heavy in his hand, met the enemy head-on. He fought with the strength of 10 men, his every blow a testament to a lifetime of training and unwavering spirit. But the enemy was relentless, their numbers overwhelming. He fell finally beneath a mountain of enemy bodies, his lifeblood seeping into the ground he had sworn to protect. His last breath was a sigh of defiance, a silent promise that his sacrifice would not be in vain. With the fall of their leader, the remaining defenders of Hoshikawa Castle lost their will to fight. Some chose to end their lives rather than face capture, their suicides a final act of defiance against the imperial forces. Others, wounded and exhausted, were taken prisoner, their fate uncertain. The rebellion was over, crushed beneath the heel of the Imperial Army. Lord Yoritomo, true to his word, had extinguished the flames of dissent with ruthless efficiency. Hoshikawa Castle, once a symbol of defiance, lay in ruins, a stark reminder of the rebellion's failure. The Emperor, his authority reasserted, wasted no time in consolidating his power. He purged the court of those who had supported Hoshikawa, replacing them with loyalists who would never question his rule. The provinces, once ablaze with rebellion, were brought back under his control, their inhabitants forced to swear fealty to the throne. Yet, the echoes of rebellion lingered in the air, like smoke from a dying fire. The common people, though cowed into submission, whispered tales of Hoshikawa's bravery, his fight for justice. They remembered his sacrifice, his willingness to stand up to tyranny, even when the odds were stacked against him. The seeds of discontent, sown by Hoshikawa's rebellion, may have been buried, but they were far from eradicated. The memory of his struggle, passed down through generations, would serve as a potent symbol of resistance, a reminder that even the mightiest empires could be challenged. Years turned into decades, decades into generations. The memory of the Prince Hoshikawa rebellion, once a fresh wound on the empire's soul, faded into the annals of history. Yet though time had blurred the edges of the story, Hoshikawa's name continued to resonate, his legacy etched in stone and song. The ruins of Hoshikawa Castle, once a grim reminder of defeat, became a place of pilgrimage. People from across the land, drawn by stories of Hoshikawa's courage and his fight for justice, would visit the site, paying homage to a fallen hero. They would leave offerings of flowers and incense, their silent prayers carried on the wind. Monuments were erected in Hoshikawa's honor, his likeness carved into stone, his story immortalized in poetry and song. He became a folk hero, a symbol of resistance against tyranny, a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming odds, one person could make a difference. The spirit of Hoshikawa lived on, not in grand pronouncements or military victories, but in the hearts of the common people. It was a quiet legacy, passed down through generations, a whisper of hope that echoed through the ages, reminding them that even in the darkest of times, the flame of freedom could never be truly extinguished.